A sleek black limousine pulls up to the dusty rural airfield, its polished chrome glinting in the afternoon sun. The door swings open and out steps the billionaire, impeccably dressed in a tailored navy suit, gold cufflinks gleaming. He glances around with visible disdain at the ramshackle hangar, the cracked concrete, and the old tools scattered about. His expression sours further when he spots the broken helicopter nearby, panels removed and wires hanging. He storms toward the mechanic, who is wiping sweat from his brow with an oil-stained rag. Asterisk, is this what passes for a repair shop in this backwater? The billionaire barks, his voice dripping contempt. The mechanic opens his mouth to reply, but freezes as his daughter steps forward from behind an engine block. She's about 17, her hair pulled back in a messy ponytail, grease smudged on her cheek and hands. She holds a wrench and looks at the billionaire with steady eyes. Asterisk, the billionaire's gaze snaps to her and he bursts out laughing. Loud and mocking? Oh, fantastic! He sneers, gesturing wildly. This is your so-called expert. You're telling me this child is going to fix my helicopter? I paid for a mechanic, not a daycare. Asterisk, a few of the other workers nearby shuffle uncomfortably, avoiding eye contact. The girl's father looks stricken. He tries to intervene, stammering that his daughter is talented and knows the aircraft well. But the billionaire waves him off rudely, rolling his eyes. Save it, he spits. I don't have time to watch your little princess play with grown-up toys while my schedule burns. Asterisk, the girl stays silent, jaw tight, eyes blazing with restrained anger. She grips the wrench harder, refusing to back down or cry. The hot, wind-blowing strands of hair across her determined face, as the billionaire's laughter echoes around the airfield. Asterisk. The air feels heavy with tension after the billionaire's laughter fades. The mechanic takes a shaky breath and steps forward, hands raised in a calming gesture. He's desperate to salvage the situation. Sir, please, he says hoarsely. I know how this looks, but my daughter knows these engines inside out. She's worked on them since she was 12. She can fix this. Asterisk, the billionaire snorts and crosses his arms, an exaggerated smirk plastered on his face. Oh, really? Is that so? He turns deliberately toward the girl. Tell me, little lady, do you even know what a fuel flow regulator is? Or are you just good at playing pretend in daddy's garage? Asterisk, his words hit hard, but she refuses to flinch. She squares her shoulders, eyes locked onto his. I know exactly what it is, she replies evenly, voice low but clear. And I know yours is leaking pressure because your pilot ignored the diagnostics for weeks. Asterisk, a hush falls over the workers, watching from the sidelines. Her father's eyes widen in surprise at her boldness, then dart nervously to the billionaire. The older man's smile falters just a bit, replaced by irritation. Watch your tone, he warns. You think you can fix it? Fine, prove it. But if you waste my time, I'll have your father fired from every contract in this region. Asterisk, her father pales at that, reaching out to grab her arm. Please don't, he whispers urgently. We can call the city crew. Don't make this worse. She shakes her head gently, eyes never leaving the billionaire. No, Dad, let me. Asterisk, she wipes her greasy hands on her coveralls, then meets the billionaire's glare without fear. Give me 30 minutes, she says firmly. That's all I need. Asterisk, the billionaire laughs again, but it's shorter, harsher this time. He leans in close enough that she can smell his expensive cologne. You've got 30 minutes, princess, he hisses. But you're going to regret asking for them. Asterisk, she doesn't waste a second. The moment the billionaire steps back, shaking his head in mock pity, she turns to the helicopter with laser focus. The late afternoon sun glares off the metal frame as she pops the side panel open wider, revealing the tangled guts of the engine. She runs her fingers over the wiring harness, feeling for damage, eyes flicking across the control unit's diagnostic lights. Asterisk, her father hovers behind her, worry etched in every line of his face. Are you sure about this? He asks softly. She doesn't even look up. Dad, hand me the small socket wrench. He fumbles for it in the old red toolbox and passes it to her with shaking fingers. Asterisk, she breathes steadily, shutting out the billionaire's mocking commentary behind her. Look at her! She ignores it all, her brain parsing the problem like a puzzle. The cracked fuel line she spotted earlier, the caked residue in the injector assembly, and the misaligned sensor that keeps throwing false errors. Asterisk, she calls over her shoulder for tape, clamps, and an old fuel line section. Her father scrambles to help. She slices and replaces the damaged line with deft, sure movements, then adjusts the sensor, fingers flying with practiced precision. Sweat beads on her forehead and drips onto the metal. Asterisk behind her, the billionaire lets out a sarcastic slow clap. Oh, impressive! Is this the part where it bursts into flames? She doesn't answer, but her jaw tightens. Asterisk, she finishes the last connection, then pauses to double-check every step. Satisfied, she wipes her hands on her coveralls and stands up. The wind gusts, sending dust swirling around her boots. She turns slowly to face him. Asterisk, it's ready, she says flatly, voice steady, despite the adrenaline surging in her veins. Try it now. Asterisk, he raises an eyebrow, clearly amused. You want me to start it? She nods once. Yes, unless you're afraid. It might actually work. Asterisk that earns her a dangerous glare, but he stalks toward the cockpit anyway, yanking open the door and climbing inside while everyone holds their breath. Asterisk the billionaire settles into the pilot's seat, muttering curses under his breath as he fastens the harness. His fingers jab at the switches with exaggerated annoyance. Outside, the mechanic's daughter wipes her forehead with the back of her sleeve, leaving a fresh smear of grease. She watches intently, her heart pounding so hard she feels it in her throat. Asterisk around them. The airfield is dead quiet except for the rustle of dry grass in the breeze. The workers have stopped pretending to busy themselves and stand in a loose semicircle, eyes wide, exchanging wary glances. The father stands a few paces behind his daughter, hands wringing his rag so tightly it looks like it might tear. Asterisk inside the cockpit. The billionaire sneers, tapping the console. Get ready to run when it blows up, he calls, voice heavy with scorn, but he flips the ignition anyway. Asterisk the starter motor whines. For a heartbeat, nothing happens. Then the helicopter's turbine spins up with a rising whine that smooths into a healthy purr. The warning lights that had glared red all morning now shift to green one by one. Gauges stabilize. The vibrations even out. Asterisk a collective gasp erupts. From the mechanics, the father's jaw drops. One of the onlookers actually lets out a shaky laugh. The billionaire's mocking grin vanishes in an instant. He leans forward, squinting at the control panel in disbelief. He tests the collective and cyclic lightly, watching the gauges react exactly as they should. He flips more switches, but everything responds flawlessly. Asterisk, he powers it down slowly. The engine winding down with a gentle whir instead of the angry. Sputtering from before, he stays in the seat for an extra beat, breathing heavily, face red not from anger now, but from stunned embarrassment. Asterisk when he finally climbs out, he doesn't speak right away. He lands heavily on the dusty ground and turns to face the girl. His expression is complicated, a mix of resentment, disbelief, and reluctant respect. Asterisk the workers explode into applause and cheers. The father claps a hand over his mouth, eyes shining. She doesn't smile. She just lowers her wrench, standing tall and calm, her breathing finally starting to slow. The wind tosses her hair around her face as she meets the billionaire's astonished stare head-on. Unflinching. Asterisk, the cheers still echo across the dusty airfield as the billionaire slowly turns to face her fully. His tailored suit is rumpled now, dust clinging to his shiny shoes. For a moment, he seems at a loss for words. His mouth opens, then closes. His eyes darting over the helicopter's smooth, steady engine and back to the grease-stained girl standing defiantly before him. Asterisk she waits. She doesn't gloat, doesn't grin. She just watches him with level eyes, wrench hanging loosely at her side. The wind blows through the field, rattling the corrugated metal of the hangar. Mechanics exchange looks, some of them grinning broadly, others shaking their heads in wonder. Asterisk her father steps up behind her, hands still trembling. He rests one calloused palm on her shoulder, voice cracking slightly as he says, "You did it, sweetheart. I knew you could." She glances back at him, her stern expression softening for just an instant. She nods once. Asterisk, the billionaire clears, his throat harshly, trying to recover his composure. He adjusts his cuffs with shaking fingers, avoiding everyone's eyes. When he finally speaks, his voice is lower, the mocking edge completely gone. I was wrong about you. Asterisk the words hang in the air like something foreign, unnatural for him to say. A hush falls again. She doesn't answer, waiting. Asterisk, he reaches into his jacket and pulls out a sleek black card, extending it toward her. Come work for me. I'll pay you triple what you make here. I'll send you to proper training programs. You could lead your own team in a year. Asterisk, she doesn't move. to take the card. Instead, she looks at it for